Hello class, this is section 7.3, the Qin Dynasty, and when you take notes on this it will be assignment 51. So there are two main ideas behind this section. The first is that the first Qin emperor created a strong but strict government, and the second main idea is that a unified China was created through Qin policies and achievements. Alright, so the Qin, which was one of the dynasties of ancient China, built a strong army and took over all of China during the Warring State period. Here on the left, you can see all the different warring states, the Qin, the Wu, the Chu, all these groups who owned what land, and they're all the different states that were fighting against one another. Eventually, right, the Qin built a strong enough army to take over all of it, which is what you see on the right. It's an older map, but something like this would have. You can see all the land that the Qin took over during this period. One of the first Qin emperors was Shi Huangdi, and he created a strong government with strict laws and harsh punishments. We've learned about this idea of legalism. Well, he was a legalist. Shi Huangdi was a legalist, and he was all about strict laws and harsh punishments to kind of teach people lessons so they wouldn't break laws in the future. One of the things he's best known for, and it's a pretty extreme, harsh story, was he went throughout China, he went throughout his empire and found all the books that did not agree with legalism, right, the belief system that he adhered to, and he burned them. He burned all of these books. He had his soldiers or his officials find these books and burn them. And when a group of scholars opposed him in doing this, they didn't believe it was right for him to be burning books. It seems kind of crazy. How he responded, and you can see here on the right, he buried the scholars alive. He threw them in a hole and filled the hole with dirt and buried them alive. So he was a very, very extreme ruler. He expanded the empire with his armies, and when he did that, he destroyed city walls and took all the weapons within the city walls. Shi Huangdi took all the power away from lords and took their land. So here's a silly picture, but you can see hardcore legalism. Your land now belongs to me. You all work for me. He took away their land and forced them all to work for him. He forced commoners, regular people, to work on government building projects, something like the Great Wall or other things of that sort, big building projects. And he divided China into districts to help with collecting taxes. So in dividing up China into different parts, that each little part could focus on gathering taxes within there, and then they could get the money to him. It was easier in terms of organization. All right, so this is it's obviously a satellite image. You can see all of China, from a satellite somewhere out in space. But what this is showing is China's huge size and geography, and because it still is huge, but back then in ancient times, it being so massive, obviously different areas would have different money, different writing styles, different laws. It makes sense. Different people would have different things in entirely different regions of China. So Shi Huangdi, he did many things to standardize China. Standardize means to make things of the same type have the same basic features. So that's why this picture, turning a circle, a pentagon, and a hexagon into 3 triangles, all the same. Okay, standardizing it. He set up a universal system of law, the same laws and punishments everywhere, so that if you broke a law on different sides of the empire, you knew what punishment you would be facing. He made everyone use the same writing system so they could better communicate, which makes sense. He made everyone use the same money system, the same carts, right, to carry goods and stuff, the same weights and measures. everyone using the same stuff and organizing themselves the same way just made it easier for everyone and made trade between regions easier. And anyone that disobeyed with these laws was severely punished. Again, it goes along with legalism. Shi Huangdi also introduced massive building projects, such as building a network of roads connecting capitals, so a system of roads that connected the big cities. He built canals to connect rivers, which was good for both transportation and trade. He built an irrigation system for farming. We've heard that word, irrigation. We did that activity earlier in the year where we built our own irrigation systems with the cup and the straws, carrying the water from one place to the other. Well, the same thing here, but on a much larger scale, making sure that water got to where it needed to provide water to plants so they could grow. And began work on the Great Wall of China to protect people from fierce nomadic warriors of the north. This is a really very beautiful photograph on the Great Wall of China, which was built over hundreds of thousands of years. But Shi Huangdi was definitely a key figure in its progress forward. So the big idea of this section is that the Qin dynasty unified China with a strong government, right, the legalist government of Shi Huangdi, and a system of standardization. Remember, standardization means to make things of the same type, have the same basic features. Shi Huangdi wanted things to be the same all throughout his empire, so that people knew the expectations